Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with this truth. Your greatest enemy is not the economy, your past, or the people who doubted you. It is your own mind. Yes, nothing kills faster, more silently, and more destructively than an untrained negative mind. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess, and it is either working for you or against you. There is no neutral ground. Every day you're engaged in a battle, not with the outside world, but within yourself. A battle between belief and doubt, between courage and fear, between discipline and delay. And if you don't take control of your thoughts will take control of your life. Overthinking is one of the deadliest habits of the modern mind. People don't just lose opportunities, they lose peace, joy, and years of their life replaying mistakes, imagining worst-case scenarios, and fearing outcomes that may never happen. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you, and that internal paralysis leads to self-sabotage. You start questioning your worth, your gifts, and your ability to rise. That little voice in your head tells you you're not good enough, and if you listen long enough, you'll start to believe it. The truth is, most people don't fail because they tried and lost. They failed because their mind convinced them not to try at all. What you feed your mind becomes your reality. If you're constantly pouring in negativity, doubt, and fear, don't be surprised when your life feels small and your confidence fades. The mind is like soil. Whatever you plant, it will grow. So why plant worry when you can plant wisdom? Why plant fear when you can plant faith? What you rehearse in your thoughts becomes the story of your life. Let's be clear. Fear is a mental construct. It's the mind's way of keeping you safe, but it often ends up keeping you stuck. Your brain prefers the comfort zone, but your growth lives outside of it. Even worse, your mental patterns impact your physical health. Chronic stress, anxiety, and internal pressure lead to real damage in your body, your relationships, and your spirit. Mental pain turns into fatigue, illness, even depression. That's why mastering your mind isn't just a motivational slogan, it's a survival skill. Add to that the toxic habit of comparison, and you've got a recipe for quiet destruction. When you constantly compare your life to someone else's, you kill your own joy, your own progress, and your own potential. Your journey is unique. The only competition you should focus on is becoming better than who you were yesterday. But here's the good news. Your mind is not fixed. You can reprogram it. You can break free from the mental chains you've lived with for years. Through consistent effort, self-reflection, faith, and new habits, you can retrain your brain to think with clarity, strength, and hope. You don't have to believe every thought you think. Not all thoughts are true, and not all feelings are facts. The moment you realize you can choose your thoughts is the moment you take your power back. So master your mind, or it will master you. The same mind that can create fear can also create vision. The same mind that imagines failure can imagine victory. Choose wisely. Speak life to yourself. Be intentional with your mental diet, because nothing kills you faster than your own mind. But nothing can elevate you faster than mastering it. The greatest enemy is not the world outside. It's not your critics, your past, or even your current circumstances. It's something much closer, more personal, and more powerful. Your own mind. The human mind, though capable of incredible creativity, growth, and achievement, can also become a prison, a trap of overthinking, fear, doubt, and regret. It can either be the engine that drives you forward or the anchor that holds you back. And most people don't realize this until it's too late. You see, the real battles in life are not fought in boardrooms, classrooms, or even relationships. They are fought in silence, in the quiet space between your ears. The mind is the battlefield, and the war is daily. Every morning you wake up with a choice to feed your mind's strength or surrender to its weakness. Your thoughts shape your entire life. Before you ever take an action, you think. Before you ever change your habits, you change your mindset. And before you ever succeed or fail, you make that decision in your thoughts. When your mind is cluttered with fear, when it's constantly bombarded by self-doubt, stuck reliving past mistakes, or anticipating future disasters, you cannot move forward in life. Not effectively, not peacefully, not purposefully. You can't rise when your thoughts are pulling you down. You can't thrive when your mind is locked in a cycle of limitation. Most people are not destroyed by outside forces. They're defeated by the voice inside that keeps saying, "You're not enough. You'll never change. What's the point in trying?" Think about how many times your mind has talked you out of something before you even began. You had an idea, a dream, a calling, and just as quickly as the fire lit up, your thoughts poured water all over it. What if I fail? What will they think? I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not qualified. These aren't facts. These are mental projections, illusions dressed up as reality. The truth is, the only limits that matter are the ones you choose to accept. And every time you accept a lie from your mind, you give it more power. You become a prisoner of your own thoughts, held captive not by bars or chains, but by beliefs you never challenged. The most tragic part is that most of this damage happens silently. People walk around smiling on the outside but dying in their thoughts. They show up to work, to school, to family gatherings, all while battling thoughts that say they're not good enough. The pressure builds, the fear grows, the hopelessness sinks in. And if nothing is done, it begins to affect everything: your relationships, your goals, your health. Mental battles become physical stress. Stress becomes sickness. And soon, your potential is buried under layers of negativity that were never dealt with. But here's the truth. Your mind can be reprogrammed. It's not fixed. You don't have to stay stuck. You can challenge every lie. You can rebuild every belief. You can reset your entire perspective if you're willing to fight for it. Start paying attention to what you think. Start observing, not absorbing. Not every thought deserves your agreement. Some thoughts need to be dismissed the moment they appear. Others need to be replaced with stronger, truer, more empowering ones. Because your life will never rise above the level of your thinking. And if you want to live a life that's powerful, peaceful, and purposeful, it starts with winning the war in your mind. Every day, every moment, one thought at a time. Overthinking is one of the most dangerous habits we can develop. Yet, it is often disguised as preparation or intelligence. It starts small, maybe with a decision you have to make, a conversation you replay in your mind, or a situation that didn't go as planned. But slowly, it grows into a storm of thoughts spinning endlessly, wearing you down from the inside. Instead of solving problems, overthinking creates them. It takes a simple situation and turns it into a mountain of fear and stress. What if I mess up? What if they don't like me? What if I fail? These what-if questions aren't helping you prepare, they're holding you hostage. Overthinking doesn't bring clarity. It breeds confusion. It tricks you into thinking you're being productive, that by running every scenario in your head, you'll eventually feel ready. But readiness never comes when your mind is clouded with doubt. What does come? Exhaustion, frustration, and paralysis. You sit on decisions for days, weeks, or even months, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect answer, the perfect plan, and in the end, you do nothing. That is the tragedy of overthinking. It steals your action. It delays your growth. It keeps you stuck in your head while life continues to move forward without you. And this habit of overthinking eventually leads to something far more dangerous: self-sabotage. The more you think about your fears, the more real they begin to feel. You start to see your doubts as truths. You question your abilities, your worth, your potential. You may even convince yourself that you're not capable of change, that success is meant for other people, not you. And so you pull back. You say no to opportunities. You remain silent when you should speak up. You procrastinate because deep down you're afraid of confirming your own fears. But the only reason those fears feel so powerful is because you've rehearsed them in your mind over and over again. Every time you think a negative thought, it carves a deeper groove in your brain, making it easier to think that thought again. That's how habits are formed: mental habits, emotional habits, behavioral habits. And the more you feed those thoughts, the stronger they become. That's why it's so important to interrupt the cycle. When your mind begins to spiral into overthinking, you must recognize it for what it is: a trap, a mental loop with no exit unless you make one. And that exit is action. Any action, no matter how small, is better than endless rumination. Movement breaks the loop. It reminds you that you're not powerless, that you can make decisions, that progress is still possible. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more videos.